Well, hello. This is Brother West. This is Brother West coming back to you again, and I want to talk about something that many of you that listen to me, you don't like it. You don't like it as well. I do not like phony people. Phony people, I don't like them. I don't like phony people. You know, I deal with them. But a phony people, you can use another word, is hypocrite. Another word for a phony person is a hypocrite. So in other words, someone who's a magician. And what I mean by that is someone who makes things appear as though they are, but the truth of the matter, they're not that way at all. Yeah, phony people. And if I could go back in time, as I remember, especially, and some of the most phoniest people, some of the most phony people are people who consider themselves righteous. People who consider themselves holy. They're the worst. And you know, many people, they say they've been hurt by the church. And it's not the church, but the enemy will use the name of the church. But what it was somebody that was a demon. It was somebody that had bad intentions, that was being used by the devil. It wasn't the church's fault, but it was the people who being used, the agents. See, because just like there's wheat and tare, the scripture said the enemy come as an angel light. See, the devil has churches too. He has preachers, has teachers, first lady, elders, all that. They had all that. And his purpose is to create a counterfeit where you think it's authentic, then hurt you. Then once you become hurt, then you through with church altogether. You through with God altogether. The truth of the matter is, the enemy is after your God. You might have got hurt in church, and now you out of church, and you ain't worshiping God, you ain't serving God, you ain't blessing God. Then if you die, then you can't blame nobody and you go to hell. You can't blame nobody but yourself, because the scripture said we must work out our own soul salvation with fear and trembling. So you can't blame by you not being in church. You can't blame by not serving God on somebody else. It's got to be based on your relationship. The scripture tells us to work out our own soul salvation with fear and trembling. And that fear is respecting God, honoring God, listening to God. When you respect something, you're going to listen to it, you're going to pay attention to it. And those are the things that God is looking for. But back to those phony people. You know, back in the 80s, when I was a teenager, I gave my heart to God. Church was different then. It was different. It was different to an extent that it wasn't as commercial. Televisions wasn't. We had color then. I don't think we had color TV then. We didn't have phones then. We had pages, I think. I know we had pages then, because that was back in the early 80s. But one of the things that I noticed about the church people when I was a kid, my mother, the people that I learned from, they didn't gossip. They prayed. They didn't gossip. They prayed. And they didn't do things for show. When there was an issue, they didn't get on the phone and start talk somebody to make somebody look bad. But if they got on the phone, they got on the phone with their prayer partner. That's what I noticed, and I noticed that the power when I was a kid, God's power flowed greater. God's power flowed greater because people just want to take God at His word. But now people got to figure it out. They question God. They question His power. And see, healing comes according to your faith. Healing comes when you believe it. If you believe it, it's going to happen. That's why all through the Bible, Jesus, when He heals, according to your faith. The woman had is your blood. According to your faith. It's your faith. You can't blame nobody but yourself. If you don't get healed, if you don't make heaven, if you don't get your blessings, it's not nobody's fault but yours. Yeah, folk, there's a whole lot of hypocrites. But that's why we have the gift of discerning the spirit, to discern what's of God and not. And then you know them by the fruit. Is that all right? God bless you. Have a good day.